That investigation and real accountability for Fauci came a step closer this week as a bipartisan group of senators introduced legislation to create a 9/11-style commission into the origin and handling of the pandemic. Earlier, we spoke to Republican Senator Roger Marshall of Kansas, who's spearheading the effort. Take a look. Senator, great to see you. We've been calling for exactly this for months on this show. I was so encouraged to see the announcement that this was actually moving forward. I'd love to know how you got to this point. How did this get going? And if you could also look ahead and tell us where you think this will go in terms of actually happening and getting to the bottom of the origins of the pandemic.
Yeah, well, Steve, good evening to you, and thanks for having me on. We appreciate you following the story. You've been inspiring me to keep working hard as well. But we thought that to have success at any type of a commission or a hearing, we needed bipartisan support. This commission needs to be a 911-style commission that's really apolitical. So we needed partners across the aisle, and Senator Feinstein and Senator Gillibrand have joined us now in this search as well. And of course, Senator Joni Ernst on our side of the aisle has been a great leader in this as well, to figure out the origins of COVID and to look out to the response of the United States as well. And, you know, where it goes next is we hope we can get this as an amendment on the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, here in 3 or 4 weeks, and hopefully it'll pass the Senate and the House will agree to do it as well.
Oh, that's really interesting. So if it's part of that big bill, that's described as must-pass legislation, isn't it? That means this could really happen this year.
Yes, sir, you're right. The NDAA has been passed, I believe, over 60 years in a row. It's what authorizes the funding for our military. It is a must-pass piece of legislation. So we plan on offering this as an amendment to that bill. And it does have a path forward. And I'd like to think that we'll get leadership on the House side to support it as well. And surely our president will sign off on it as well.
Is everyone here involved in this ready to really get to the bottom of the role of the NIH, the NIAID, Dr. Fauci, and so on? We've been talking about that and focusing on that. And when do you think, if all goes as planned in terms of the votes at the end of this year, President signing this legislation, when can we expect to have actual hearings and witnesses and documents in the public eye, all that to happen? When do you think that will be?
Right. I think it'll be a matter of months and not weeks. We have to come up with 10 names to appoint to the commission. The Republicans will appoint 5 and the Democrats will appoint 5. We're hopefully that they'll all be apolitical people, that they'll be experts in their specific areas and can take these deep dives. There's a lot of information out there that needs to be declassified, and they'll have the power to subpoena. And that's so important. We need to get Peter Daszak and people from EcoHealth in front of a grand jury style investigation here and figure out exactly what they knew. We need to start looking at all their DNA sequences, and I think that we'll find the grandfather of COVID-19 somewhere buried in EcoHealth's lab system.
Well, honestly, I can't tell. This is really the most encouraging news pretty much all year on this whole question of getting to the truth about the origins. So I'm really, really excited to hear the news. Thank you for your role in making it happen and pushing it forward. And thank you for being with us tonight.
You bet, Steve. Thanks for having us. Keep covering the story. You're doing a great job.
We will.